A very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to welcome you to the 12th episode of the webinar series titled Why Corporate Sector. This webinar is the 61st BSL webinar for the year 2025 and 2026. The webinar series is organized by the Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee of BSL. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Chairman of the Webinars and Legal Symposium Committee and the President of BSL, Mr. Rajiv Amarasuriya, Attorney at Law, the Co-Chairman, Mr. Chatura Galhena, Secretary of BSL, and Mr. Pasandu Silva, Treasurer of BSL, and the conveners and non-conveners and the co-conveners and the members of the Webinars and Legal Symposiums Committee of BSL. I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Executive Committee of BSL for all the support and guidance. In today's episode of Why Corporate Sector, we have with us an esteemed guest, Ms. Dilini Jayasuriya, who is a former partner at Julius & Creasy, Attorney at Law and Notary Public. She is currently serving as the Head of Litigation and Corporate at the Merchant Bank of Sri Lanka and Finance PLC. Her areas of expertise include corporate law, banking law, labor law, litigation, and conveyancing. She holds an LLM in banking law, international property law, and information technology law from the University of Colombo. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Ms. Shahara Herat, who will be the interviewer for today's session. Over to you, Shahara.
Thank you so much, Dinali. And once again, we welcome you to another episode of Why Corporate Sector. This series was initiated by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka in order to guide young lawyers as well as law students who are interested in joining the rapidly changing and rapidly innovative sector of the section of the corporate sector. And it is quite correct to say that maybe in comparison to a few decades ago, today, the corporate sector has become ever more, there is more opportunities. I mean, giving opportunities for young lawyers and young law students to join the corporate sector. And this will be much wider in the future, in the years to come. And in that context, the Bar Association of Sri Lanka has initiated this webinar series to provide an insight into the corporate sector, the challenges, the opportunities, and any guidance young lawyers might have in joining the corporate sector. We also hope that this webinar series would be utilized by all the viewers if they want to join the corporate sector, or even those who are in the corporate sector would make this a wonderful opportunity to improve themselves and to climb the corporate ladder and become members of the boards of directors and CEOs of corporations. And with that in mind, once again, on behalf of the President and the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, I'm happy to welcome Ms. Dilini Jayasuriya, Attorney at Law, Head of Legal at MBSL. It's such a great honor to have you here, madam.
Thank you, Dinali and Shahara. Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all staying safe during this challenging period. I'm pleased to be here today to share my insights and experiences from the corporate sector. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. And my first question to you is now, I'm sure every person in the corporate sector has their own interesting story about why they decided to join the corporate sector when Law College has trained us exclusively to become lawyers who appear in courts or lawyers who are in litigation. So my question to you is, madam, why did you join the corporate sector? What made you make that shift from regular litigation to the corporate sector? And thereafter, how did you overcome challenges and how did you capitalize on opportunities to climb the corporate ladder?
Yes, Shahada, basically, I like the challenges. I was called to the bar in 2007, and after completing my apprenticeship with Paul Ratnaik Associates, I joined Asia Asset Finance Limited, a subsidiary of Asia Capital and a licensed finance company. This marked my first experience as a corporate lawyer. At Asia Asset Finance Limited, I learned fundamentals of being a corporate lawyer. I was fortunate to have a wonderful boss, mentor, Mrs. Yulkushi Vikramasinghe, who was very knowledgeable and highly professional. It was there that I first learned how to apply my legal knowledge to deliver practical solution. Practical. This is the main, I think this is the more important word in the corporate sector. I'll come to that. Actually, as you know, corporate entities are businesses registered or incorporated with the primary goal of earning profits. Their main goal is to earning profits. So, our role as corporate lawyers is to use our expertise or our knowledge to help them, to cater them to achieve their goals. This was one of the most valuable lessons I learned during my time there. It was very challenging. So I liked the corporate sector. However, in 2010, I joined Julius and Creasy Attorneys at Law, one of the most prestigious firms in Sri Lanka, as a junior associate. I was assigned to the corporate and corporate litigation division of the firm. So Julius and Creasy was truly my university. I learned a lot, enormous amount under the guidance of exceptional mentors such as R. Senadiraja, Mr. R. Senadiraja, Mr. James Swaminathan, and Mrs. Anandi Gunawardana. One of the greatest opportunities I had there was the chance to handle many of the firms top corporate clients, both foreign and local corporate clients, directly from the very beginning, always under their mentorship. But I had the chance to handle them directly. I consistently focused on understanding what are their thinking patterns, what they need from us, the lawyers. I was always focusing on that because I wanted to know to become a better corporate lawyer. I from the early stages, I realized that I should know my clients, especially the corporate clients, the way they think, the way they handle situation, what they truly expect from us, the lawyers, and how they perceive value. That I wanted to know. This understanding has been instrumental in shaping up my approach to corporate practice. Additionally, the exposure I received to corporate litigation and convincing and corporate matters at the firm provided a well-rounded foundation that has been valuable throughout my corporate career. At the firm, actually, I had the opportunity to handle high value and exceptional challenging corporate matters from RTI applications and tax appeal applications to complex commercial matters, high value arbitrations, and appeals before Court of Appeal, the writ applications, Supreme Court applications. I manage a broad spectrum of cases. I was privileged to work alongside leading expert in the field, including top tier counsel. I also gained extensive exposure to numerous practice areas while creating to the diverse requirements of corporate clients. In addition to RTI and tax appeal commission matters, I handled writ application before Court of Appeals and also wide range of commercial disputes, labor matters, many other sophisticated and complex issues We also later on, we also established a dedicated corporate criminal division at the firm under the guidance of Mrs. Prashanthi Mahindaratna, which opened the door to a new area of practice. At that time, the financial crimes division was also active, and I was privileged to gain exposure to an area of law uh, I had not encountered before. So I left Julius and Crazy as a partner in 2022. And in the same year, I joined Merchant Bank of Sri Lanka and Finance PLC. There I served as the head of litigation and corporate. The knowledge and experience I gained from my previous work environments helped me to perform effectively in this role. It was a privilege to work with a leading corporates and to apply my expertise in carrying out my responsibilities. And also at the bank, we handle many complex matters involving highly influential customers, which required careful attention and strategic decision making. Drawing on my previous litigation experience, the bank was able to successfully resolve several complex, significant cases that had remained pending for decades. Whenever I advise on corporate matters, I made it a priority to provide a practical, viable solution. Actually, we also faced a few critical matters during my tenure at NBSL Merchant Bank, including an international arbitration where I was able to directly apply my past experience and legal knowledge to safeguard the bank interest. So, from all my corporate experience, I have learned being a corporate lawyer is very challenging. So that is what I like being a corporate lawyer. And at the same time, I have learned that it is essential to provide practical and viable solution based on your knowledge and expertise, aiming to achieve your company's goal, not just what you think might suit them. You can't just offer what you have. You have to always offer what they want from you. So that is how I become a corporate lawyer.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, madam. And I think that you gave us a very interesting insight into, the challenging part of being a corporate lawyer, of, giving practical solutions rather than just sticking to black and white law. That brings me to our next question, which is now you have climbed up the corporate ladder and you're now the head of legal at MBSL. And I'm sure you must
Sorry,
have,
small correction. I'm not the head of legal, I'm the head of litigation and corporate.
I'm sorry, you're the head of litigation and corporate
And
at the
corporate, not
MBSL.
the head of legal.
Sorry. And you must have sat through a lot of interviews where young lawyers are recruited, not only at MBSL, but at previous workplaces you have worked in. So, can you give us some guideline as to what you would expect as a recruiter in a young lawyer who wishes to get into the corporate sector?
This is a very important question, Ms. Shahara. Now, we should know it is also important to remember, understand that law is a very common subject. It's very common and it's very connected. It is connected to everyday life. So many people, including corporate leaders who are not lawyers, they already know the basic idea of law. They have a basic idea. Maybe sometimes their knowledge might be wrong, but they know something. So the most important thing is, because of this, as a corporate lawyer, You must be able to show that you really understand your subject well. That is essential. That is very important. You should know your basics well. Knowing your basics strongly is very important. That is number one. Also, having only paper qualifications is not enough. You must pay attention to your PR skills and the way you deal with people, because in the corporate world, you will meet a wide range of individuals from different backgrounds, from different standards, from different educational levels, with different attitudes. That is why it is important to learn how to work with all kinds of people, so you can help your organization to achieve its goal, because it's a teamwork. Not you can't. Now let's say you are the head of legal, you are heading the legal department. That is not sufficient to achieve cater the company's goal. You have to always become a team member and work as a team. So that's very important in the corporate sector. The legal department is often seen as a service provider. This means your role is to support the company by giving the right advice and solution. To do this effectively, you must communicate well and handle people in a respectful and professional manner. Being a lawyer does not give you a permit to shout at people. So, lawyer, it's a profession, so you have to act as a professional. So that is very important in many organizations. Shahara, the legal department is not very well liked. This is often because of the attitudes of the lawyers and the way they handle situations and people. So I usually pay more attention to that. I always look into their attitudes, the way they handle the situation, how they present themselves, how they talk. I pay attention to that. With the growth of AI, many companies feel they can handle legal work on their own without hiring a lawyer, because now you know, if you ask something from ChatGPT, they will respond. So whether the facts are correct or wrong, that comes secondary. Initially, the basic idea is uh, we can easily get the legal knowledge. So that's how they think. So this means the lawyers need to be exceptional, knowledgeable, confident, and good at communication. That's very important to stay valuable. I always believe that a lawyer must be strong in main three key areas. First, they should know their facts well, and know how to find those facts, knowledge, or anything related to their work area. Secondly, the most important thing is they should apply those facts creatively. And the third thing, the most important thing is they must be able to convince others about how those facts apply. They should always convince the others. You go to courthouse, they know, you know your law, you know the facts of the case, you can apply it creative, but you have to convince the judge. Same, if you do an agreement, you have to apply it creatively, and you have to convince others why you have put this. If you, let's say, as a corporate lawyer, I have experience. Personally, I have experienced many situations where convincing others is essential. This skill is extremely important for anyone working in the corporate field, because you need to explain clearly why something can go ahead and why something cannot. If you are asking someone to not to do something, you have to explain that. You have to convince him. This is the reason why I am asking you to not to do this. This is the reason I am asking you to follow this. So to do that, you have to convince others, because otherwise they won't be happy, because you have to always, being a corporate lawyer, you have to always keep your colleagues and cater the requirements of your company in the legal framework. To do that, sometimes you need to convince other. The reason, you have reason out why you are asking them to do this. So that's very important. Also, I feel that our profession has become overcrowded now. Because of that, having an additional qualification will definitely be an advantage for you, but you need to decide what exactly you want to add to your qualifications list. As you can see, the corporate field is very broad and it has many opportunities. So it is important to identify the area you want to develop in, and then choose an extra qualification that fits your goals and interests. So that is very important. It is always helpful to have a postgraduate qualification if you can, if you um, uh, can obtain. Many organizations, the corporates also prefer candidates who have management or business administration related qualifications. Also today, new areas like AI, cyber laws are growing very fast. Additional getting, I think, idea about getting additional qualifications in those fields too will help you to have more chances in the corporate sector. Anyway, in any event, extra qualifications can give you more job opportunities and help you stand out. So I think basically, uh, this is what I look for in a lawyer who wants to join the corporate sector.
Certainly, madam. And I think that will be something those who are viewing this through YouTube and who are viewing this through YouTube in the future will consider when they consider joining the corporate sector. And you also brought in an interesting insight about the availability of artificial intelligence and how different corporations, they move into getting their work done through artificial intelligence rather than hiring a lawyer. In that context, in the context of this rapidly developing technological world, do you think that there would be more opportunities for lawyers in the corporate sector in the future? I'm sure if you compare Sri Lanka today with Sri Lanka 25 years ago, there is certainly more job opportunities, and not only job opportunities but opportunities in general for lawyers to get into the corporate sector. There's more regulation, there is more laws on taxation, there is more even what the area of law which you pointed out, criminal law has become an interesting area of corporate sector, because now we see a lot of board of directors going into magistrates courts because the company has violated the criminal laws of the country. So, in that context, do you think in the years to come, maybe 5 to 10 years in the future, there would be more opportunities for lawyers in the corporate sector or less?
Yes, Shehara, there are strong signs then that job opportunities for lawyers in the corporate sectors will continue to grow in the coming years. In fact, recent labor market data also shows that employment for lawyers is expected to rise faster than many other professions. This has a reason. The reason is because today's business world is becoming more complex, more global, and more regulated than ever before. Because earlier it was not this complicated, but because of the globalization, with the new technologies, with new regulation, now the situation has become more complex. Companies are now working across different countries using new technologies and entering fast changing industries. As businesses grow and change, the government creates more detailed rules to keep everything safe, fair, and transparent. For example, companies must now follow strict standards, stands for environment strict requirements in areas like ESG, that means standard for environment, social and governance, as well as data privacy, cyber security, and international trade, as you said, these criminal law requirements and compliance. There are a lot of rules and regulation to be followed. These topics are not simple. You can't just get the help of ChatGPT to solve these issues, to follow these regulations. So companies need expert guidance for these areas. That is why there is a rising demand for lawyers who understand both law and business environment. Not only the law, they should know how to apply their knowledge to business environment. So that is a new area. This means being a successful corporate lawyer requires more than traditional legal knowledge. So that is there. Earlier, being a lawyer is enough to find a corporate uh, job, if the job in the corporate sector. But now you should have some sort of a knowledge in the area of the corporate sector. There are businesses, and it is not enough to just explain what the law says, because the companies, they want lawyers who understand their industry, their business models, and advisors, and their long term goals, and advise them to achieve their goals. That's what they require from the lawyers. So they want legal advisors actually who can help them to make the right decision and achieve their objectives while staying within the law. So that is very complicated, because they want to achieve their objectives, but you have to provide the knowledge to achieve that objective within the legal framework. So that role is not easy. So they can't handle it by themselves, because the complex nature of these new laws and regulations. So in other words, you must be able to adapt your legal skills to what the company needs, not simply rely on what you already know. සිංහලෙන් කිව්වොත් කියන්නේ මේ තියෙන දේ දීලා හරියන්නේ ඉල්ලන දේ දෙන්න ඕනේ. You have to cater their requirement, not what you have. So that is very important. Another major trend is the increasing demand of in-house counsel concept. Many companies are building large internal legal teams to deal with ongoing needs like contracts, compliance, litigation, dispute resolution, regulatory updates, and risk management, because they think this is cost effective and for their convenience. They think because their in-house team is more reachable than outsourcing the same. So they think this is more profitable for them. So this field is growing steadily, and many in-house roles offer good salaries, better work-life balance, and stable career growth. And also, specialization is also becoming very important. Corporate employers now look for lawyers who have expertise in areas such as AI regulations, data privacy, ESG compliance, as I said, then intellectual property, international trade, and digital business regulations. So these fields are changing very quickly. So companies actually want lawyers who can keep up with new laws, global standards, and new technology. So that's their requirement. So you also have to improve yourself and always keep updated with the new laws. What are the global standards and new technology changing? So you should be equipped with those things. Overall, companies today do not want lawyers just to solve legal problems because, as I said, they think ChatGPT can do that. So, what they want is they want the partners who can support their vision, guide their decisions, and help them grow safely and responsibly. So that is their requirement. This means modern corporate lawyers must combine legal knowledge and uh, they must combine legal knowledge with uh, business understanding and practical problem solving skills. They have to be very practical. They always have to give a practical solution, not what they are in the books or the legislation. They have to uh, give them a very practical solution. So that is what they require from you. So for anyone who wants to build a strong career in the corporate legal sector, the message is clear. Keep learning, stay updated on global trends, and specialize in areas that are growing. Those who are adaptable and prepared will find many opportunities in the years ahead because there are opportunities. You have to grab the opportunities. To grab the opportunities, you have to be prepared. That is the most important thing, Shahara.
Certainly. And that brings me to our next question, which is in a what is your advice to a lawyer who is already in the corporate sector, someone who is in the corporate sector and who thinks that they want to climb up the corporate ladder to get a promotion, how to improve their position within the company itself? Are there any tips or are there any advices that you would give to such a person?
Yes, Shahara, there are many things you have to
I
uh,
know these are very, very broad question, but if you could,
broad
you know,
question, but I'll try to somehow summarize it because there are many important facts that you should pay your attention. I see the number one is understand the business, understand your organization's goal, what they require from you. Don't just know the law. You are a lawyer. They also know that you know law, but learn how the company works and how you can apply your knowledge. That is very important because understand the business model or industry trends and what the company wants to achieve is very important because ultimately they require you to cater their uh, objective, cater to achieve their objective. So if you don't understand their business, understand what they want from you, you won't be able to, although you know your subject very well, you won't be able to cater their requirements. So that is very important. So number one, I think you have to understand the business. Lawyers who understand business can give better advice or better solution and help the company to grow. So I think they also want from you I think they also want that is from you to help the company to achieve their objective, achieve their goal. So that is number one in my list. And also keep learning and stay updated. That is also very important. Laws and regulations keep changing, especially in areas like ESG, AI, data privacy, international trade. Now, let's say even the CPC, Civil Procedure Code. Last few years, there were several amendments. So you should know, you have to keep learning and stay updated because they totally rely on you and your advice. So you should be in a better position to advise them correctly, accurately. So keep reading, attending seminars. I see the Bar Association is doing a very good job providing a platform to learn, to keep updated, stay updated. So you can make use of those seminars and learning new skills to stay relevant, IT skills or any other relevant skills. So you have to always keep learning and stay updated, and also specialize in high demand areas. That is also an important fact. Companies need lawyers with expertise in fast growing areas like intellectual property, cybersecurity, ESG compliance, AI, digital businesses, platforms like that. So specialization makes you more valuable and opens better career opportunities. So you should pay your attention to specializing high demand areas. You can follow some courses, some practical sessions. You can do some self learning. You can use AI to learn those areas. So you have to learn. And also, it is very essential to develop people skills. Your technical knowledge alone is not enough. You might be the best lawyer, but if no one listens to you, your advice or trust what you deliver, your efforts will fail. So there should be someone to believe you, someone to follow what you deliver. So, your people skills are very essential. Learn how to communicate well, handle different personalities, and work with people from diverse backgrounds. Especially in corporate work, the legal department is often seen, as I said, it is often seen as a service provider. Good people skills help you provide your service efficiently. So that is very important. And also be professional. You are lawyers, so be professional and positive. Always try to stay calm. Sometimes you might lose your temper when you are working in the corporate sector because due to the heavy workload and the pressure, but always try to stay calm in difficult situations when advising colleagues or your let's say board or your superiors or your bosses. Explain clearly why something can or cannot be done. That's very important. Do not argue, just explain. Explain them why the reason out, why you are advising like this. Because lack of communication will definitely cost your career. So you have to be very careful and also respect others' opinions and work as a team is also very important. And always try to think strategically because don't just be a be just a lawyer. Don't just try to solve only the legal problem. Think about how your advice affects your business, how your advice affects the business decisions. Always think about it. Help your company achieve its goals while staying compliant with the law. Now, I don't think it's advisable. While you're thinking strategically, it is not advisable to, go beyond the law or do something unethical. Be in the limit, but be strategical. That is very important, and also try to build a strong reputation, be reliable, be ethical, and constant in and also companies value lawyers they can trust to give proper sound advice. That is very uh, important, and you should handle your matters, whatever the assignment they have given to you in a responsible manner. So that is very important. And also, corporate environments change quickly. Be ready to take on new challenges, learn new areas of law, and support different teams. That means you have to adapt and flexible to adapt. That is very important. Being flexible, because sometimes if you can't adapt to the situation, your chances uh, they will think that you can't cope up with their standards. So that is a disadvantage uh, for you. So always try to adapt and be flexible. Be flexible to cater what they require from you, and also work on your PR, and networking is also important because this is a profession. We learn from others. So build good relationships inside and outside the company is also very essential. A strong professional network helps you to learn, grow, and find new opportunities. So that is important. Balance work and learning process is also important. Corporate law can be very demanding, so uh, you have to learn while take care of yourself. And also, it is very important to have a balance. Uh, Maintain a balance between your work and personal life. That is very important. Don't lose yourself. Follow your fashions and make sure you are happy, because that is the most important thing if you want to deliver something properly. If you want to climb up the ladder, corporate ladder, if you want to achieve something, you should be in a better position to achieve those things, a better mental stage to achieve those things. So you have to be happy. So don't lose yourself. Try to follow your passions and, try to uh, succeed in whatever you do. In summary, I think to succeed as a corporate lawyer, you need legal knowledge, business understanding, specialization in key areas, strong people skills, and professionalism. So those are the main points that you will need to climb up the ladder in the corporate sector.
Certainly. And that also brings me to the next question, which is kind of related to what we already discussed. Now, a person or a lawyer who wants to join the corporate sector, or someone who is already in the corporate sector, would be interested to know about what might be the challenges a lawyer might face in the corporate sector. And I would also like to ask you to highlight particular challenges a female lawyer would face in the corporate sector, because what I see is that although we see a lot of lawyers who pass out from law college being girls, We also see a lot of girls joining the corporate sector as lawyers, but we don't see ladies in the top boards of companies. We don't see ladies as CEOs in a lot of corporations. I mean, we have maybe one or two exceptions, but as a whole, I think there is a underrepresentation of women when it comes to the top boards of corporations and positions such as executive director or chief executive officer. So, in that context, if I may ask you, what are the main challenges a person would face in the corporate sector, and what advice can you give to circumvent these challenges?
Actually, challenges generally, if I talk about the challenges that the corporate lawyers faces in the corporate sector, I see as the first challenge is keeping up with changing laws and regulations. So, because you have to always be updated, laws are always changing, especially in this current um, era. All the laws are always changing, especially in areas like, as I said before, data privacy, ESG, AI, international trade. Corporate lawyers must constantly learn and adapt to stay uh, compliant and provide accurate advice. So, because of that, they should always keep updated. So, that is a challenge. And also to understand the complexity of the businesses are also very challenges, because now currently companies have complicated structures, strategies, and global operations. It's very complicated. Lawyers somehow should understand the business side, not just the law, because we know law. To apply it, we should know the business side. So that is very important. That is very important, and that is very challenging also. To give a sound advice, to give the correct advice that support the growth of the company, you should understand the business well, and also managing the workload and meeting the deadlines. That is very challenging. Corporate lawyers often handle multiple tasks at once. That's their role. They are expected to handle several roles. So they have to draft contracts, they have to look after compliance, they have to resolve disputes and regulatory updates, lot of things. So this comes with tight deadlines and high pressure. So these situations are very common, and these situations are requiring strong organization skills and strong time management skills, and you have to prioritize. So you should be able to um, organize your workload well, and you have to pay more attention to manage your time. At the same time, you have to prioritize your task. So this is very important to manage pressure, high pressure, and to meet the deadline, and also communicating effectively. You must explain legal advice clearly to people who may not have legal background. So it is very challenging, because you have to convince someone who does not understand, or who think what he knows is correct. This is not easy. Sometimes your advice may not be popular. So you need to convince others politely without arguing. So this is very challenging. So that is also, I have come across, it is very challenging to convince others and communicate what needs to be done. Also, handling diverse people and teams is also, as I said before, it is challenging. I'm actually talking about the practical challenges we have, practical challenges I have come across. I thought it is important to address those issues because these are the practical and actual issues you will come across when you are working in the corporate sector. In corporate setting, you work with colleagues, you work with clients, customers, regulators, and stakeholders from different cultures and different backgrounds and with different attitudes. So, differences in expectations, standards, and attitudes can make collaboration very challenging. And also balancing risk and business objectives are also very challenging. Companies want to grow and take opportunities, but they must stay within the law. That is your duty. Being the corporate lawyer, you should always advise them to stay within the law, within the area or within the demarcation. So it is not easy because they want to achieve their goal. You have to cater them to achieve their goals, but at the same time, you have to always drag them into the legal demarcation, within the legal demarcation. So that is not easy. Lawyers often need to find a balance between allowing business decisions and managing legal risks. So we have to always cater them within the legal limit. And also high expectation and accountability is also very challenging. Corporate lawyers are expected to provide accurate advice, prevent mistakes, and protect the company's interest. But being the human beings, sometimes we may do some mistakes, but be careful. Any error can have serious repercussions, serious consequences for the company and your career. And also, long hours and stressful working environment is a challenge. Meeting deadlines, handling urgent issues, or managing disputes can lead to stress and long working hours. This is very stressful. So you should find your own way to find or maintain the work life balance. And it is important to find your way to balance this stressful or these uh, unhealthy situations. You can follow a hobby or you can practice some meditation, mindfulness courses or something like that. That is very useful. And adapting to technology and innovation is also challenging because companies are adapting new technologies like AI, blockchain, and digital platforms uh, quickly. And it is a growing area. So lawyers need to understand these changes to provide effective legal guidance. So that is very important. And also, sometimes delays in the legal system, which is beyond our control, is also very challenging because they don't understand these delays. You will have to wait for uh, 1 month, 1 to 2 months to obtain a proceeding, but they don't understand that because they think after you conclude the court proceedings or court session, you can easily get the proceeding. After the judgment was delivered, you can easily obtain a copy of the judgment. That is how they think. You know, it is difficult. So, to mitigate the uh, damage, what you can do is uh, uh, it is very important to keep others updated about the progress and any changes in the process. So you have to always keep them updated. This is what happened. I went to court, I sent my court law, or this is why I can't draft this agreement today, I can't deliver this agreement today, this is why I can't follow these compliance rules. Keep it updated and maintain a proper record. Just drop an email, then they know step by step, they understand. Don't wait until the last moment to answer them, respond them until they ask you why the delay is. So when you have delays like that, which is beyond your control, these delays can make it hard to deliver your work on time. So keep them updated. That is very important. So being a corporate lawyer is rewarding, but in some it comes with many challenges. And also, you ask a question about this
So let me,
gender.
since we are running out of time and
Okay.
we have to finish in 5 minutes, madam. Um,
Okay.
I would like to pair that part of the question with the next question, which is our final question of the discussion.
Okay.
Just to put it very, out there, are you happy with the situation of the, or are you happy with gender equality in the corporate sector? Because to be very honest, when we come into areas such as politics in Sri Lanka, I think Sri Lanka has one of the lowest percentages of female members of parliament, I think, in the world. And when we come to positions of leadership in the corporate and non-corporate entities, we rarely see women, take up those positions. This is kind of sad, given that Sri Lanka produced its the first female prime minister in the world. So, are you happy with the current status of gender equality in the corporate sector?
It's like this, Shahara. Many companies now recognize the importance of gender equality and have policies to support this, such as flexible work hours, parental leave, and anti-discrimination rules. However, I don't think this is enough to fully address the challenges women face in the society, such as cultural and social barriers. So there are a lot of things. I don't think we have enough time to discuss this in detail. I think we'll be able to discuss this in detail in future, Shahara.
Certainly, certainly. And I think, so as a final answer, do you think that uh, the conditions for women in the corporate sector will improve in the years to come?
Gender equality in the corporate sector has improved, but there is still work to do. Women are joining the workforce in greater numbers, but challenges like underrepresentation in leadership, pay gaps, and cultural biases remain. So we have to address those issues, Shahara, and also especially, we have to promote some sort of a healthy and friendly, flexible working environment for women to achieve their goals as well as to accommodate them. So that is my way.
Certainly. And with that, I think we have come to the conclusion of today's discussion. And once again, on behalf of the President of the Bar Association and all its membership, I would like to thank you, Madam, for taking time off your busy schedule, for sharing so much of knowledge and experience with us, giving us an insight into what really happens in the corporate sector. Because, to be honest, I mean, if a young lawyer or a law student watching this program, they might not have that exposure to the corporate sector. So they might be contemplating on whether to get into the corporate sector or not. They might not be aware of the opportunities and challenges within the corporate sector. And I think your explanation would be of immense help for those young lawyers and law students. So thank you once again. And we hope to have you again on another episode of one of our BASL webinar series soon.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I hope the experiences and insights I shared from the corporate legal field will be helpful to some of you. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Shahara. This brings us to the end of episode 12 of the webinar series on why corporate sector. I thank our esteemed guest, Ms. Dilini Jayasuriya, the fruitful and educational discussion and for dedicating your time to be here with us and sharing your thoughts. I thank the BSL webinars and the Legal Symposiums Committee for the dedication and hard work in organizing the insightful webinar. And last but not least, I thank our audience who have joined in for this session through various platforms and for the interactive session that we've had. Thank you, and I hope you all have a good night.